another thing pia hii ilikuwa interesting and funny at the same time was the way you are saying Lucozade na Ribena hazisaidiagi chochote cause we've grown up knowing ule ni mgonjwa mpelekee Lucozade unajua so does not help
doesn't jua hata mimi hiyo ndo ninajua tangu nikuwe mdogo
na hii myth ilitoka wapi cause si mimi ujuaga tu hiyo like especially like if you don't
hata sijui mimi sijui
have appetite
but I think
itasaidia
kulikuwa na time I think kulikuwa na advert fulani
ya Lucozade
sijui ilikuwa ni Lucozade ama ni Ribena one of those Lucozade ama Ribena sijui imepelekwa msee ambaye anasikia vibaya akaikunywa akafeel better so I think that's what most of our parents walikuwa watch wakaona and then it just became a thing so hakuna ndo hizo vitu nakwambia these are all sugar sweetened beverages that okay mtu akikuwa mgonjwa they usually don't have appetite nini kuna watu wengi by the pia walitete hiyo post wakisema wewe mazee hata madaktari saa zingine patient haizi kula eti food nini hana appetite ni hiyo tu anaweza kushukisha but at the end of the day you're not even if you say appetite imeshuka this is you're giving very high concentrated sugar high processed so it's not really at the end of the day the outcome is not the best but kama niko in the process of kupata maji au kuhydrate na hizi kunywa maji plain na ndio tu na umechanganya sawa but no benefits doesn't boost your immunity ni kama tu kunywa soda tu
okay it's ni kitu nilifind ikiwa like cause mimi nimezoea hiyo like nilikuwa nafikia I think ni mother hata tukienda kuona mtu hosi kuna mbebeaga either Lucozade ama Ribena cause I think at least Ribena has a sweet taste so hata kama mtu ana appetite but Lucozade used to be like it didn't even taste that
it didn't taste that good it was very fizzy hata mimi I don't know and then they had to even mark because watu walikuwa naipia sana watu wa Kihara
okay.
They thought it was like an electrolyte nini energy because imeandikwa hapo energy unajua ukikuwa dehydrated one of the things is your energy levels go low so unajaribu ku get back that energy that glucose in your system but maji fruits ama pelekea tu maji ama kitu ingine ambaye take yourself you are a better gift
okay
ile tu utajajiwa tu umekame empty-handed
alafu unajua nini hii show yetu it's fun driven so fun sponsor stuff so saizi since tumefika kwa kile kipindi cha kulala wacha hii tuambia segment iko sponsored na Nyerere najua Nyerere kelele ya health tunapunguza unajua so kelele ni ile ujinga tuko online tu someone advises you on bullshit and you think it's real so kuna kuogana hizo like another bullshit that our parents believed in was ukiumwa na tumbo unafaa kunywa salted water and then I remember you talking about salt water and diarrhea so was there that connection pole kwa Nyerere section yako tunaponga jua kuhara tena so
kuna hiyo kuna a lot of things for diarrhea so kuna ile salt sugar mix juu nini now squeeze kuna kuangana kitu inaitwa oral rehydrative salts so mtu akihara ukihara una lose a lot of electrolytes which are important so shida hiyo mix ya wazazi is that most of the ratios you can if you get it right if you are very good at measurements chemistry na umeiva you can get it right na inaweza kukusaidia but one is going to be taste disgusting so it's most likely going to induce vomiting which will make the dehydration worse. 2 is ORS also doesn't taste good but it replenishes the exact so if it's too salty inaweza kuwa more adverse inaweza worsen the dehydration because you're already losing that sodium so tena unapea mtu more unajua so hizo vitu hazikwangi poa hata ukiangalia hizi vitu gani nyingine if it's not ORS kuna dawa nyingine wanapea watu wa Kihara Imodium mtu anajua Kihara unakunywa Imodium but Imodium was not for diarrhea because Imodium stops you from now losing that watery stool but that stool usually contains a lot of pathogens bacteria viruses so ukiblock hiyo shimo then it means those things are just accumulating there and they will make it actually worse they'll increase their virulence so hizo vitu zote zinafaa kustopiwa patia mtoto wako maji, ukunywa maji,
alafu
ORS.
kitu imenichekesha pia ni leo ni the first time I think kwa hii show tumeita diarrhea. Kuna hii movie tuko na watch ya Brito, I don't remember which movie it was. I need to ask one of our colleagues anaitwa Ian, but in that movie someone was talking about diarrhea, so alisema like I had a liquid ass, so you always call it liquid ass, like if you have a liquid ass you should do one, 2, 3 things. So kuna zile like movies like someone says something and it's just too funny,
it sticks.
Just sticks with you. So I think pia ulikuwa na teach waseni don't give your kids cough syrup, and I find it interesting. I don't think I've ever given my kid cough syrup. I'd want to know, niuliza wife, but one thing I know ni kaa sisi kama adults I normally use cough syrup and I always feel like it doesn't help. So kwa nini watoto wasipatiwe?
So one is that most of the active ingredients in cough syrups, if taken in very high quantities, can have bad adverse effects. Kitu ingine is syrups are usually one of the most accidental poisoning. Usually occurs highest with things like like syrups. Wakipata hiyo cabinet ya madawa ni nini, mtu umeza hizo ma syrups. Vitu zingine kama paracetamol pia, but uzuri hizo vitu kama paracetamol, they usually whatever they have in that bottle is usually the maximum. Or it doesn't reach the maximum to give you toxicity or poisoning. So it's balanced. Cough syrups most of the times hakuna hiyo balance. Two is that abuse. People are abusing it. Watoto wanapewa wanalala usiku. Mtoto wangu nikimpea hii analala nisumbui, knockout. Unasikia mama mimi napenda kupea hii dawa fulani usiku ndio mtoto alale atulie. So there was that. Two is that the science and the evidence shows that ukikunywa cough syrup ama nikupatie maji, the results will be the same. And then they did another study with saying if I give you a cough syrup and kijiko moja ya asali actually reduced the cough in that study more than kukunywa hiyo cough syrups. So at the end of the day you're like, mbona nipatie mtoto wangu dawa chemicals?
Naweza mpatia something natural.
Mpatie something natural or give nothing at all and let the cough ride out. If it's a viral cough, ina clear probably within less than 10 days ita clear. Kama ni cough imekoziwa na bacteria, tibu na antibiotic. Kama ni cough ya allergies, sort out the allergy problem. So also the thing is, like I said, it's chemicals. Sijui kama umesikia, but there's some time last year and even very recently, hundreds and hundreds of kids have died because of poorly formulated cough syrups in the Gambia, in Pakistan, some Asian countries, but a lot. We have lost hundreds to those cough syrups because those ingredients, like I said, those are active ingredients. Usipo ziformulate well, leta shida. Juzi nimecheki documentary fulani by Seth Olale about counterfeit products. Some called Profit Without Borders. Brilliantly done. The same issue. Regulation, nini, vitu kama hizo. Kama tunanunua antibiotic over the counter na haifai. It means kuna drugs zinaweza ingia.
Antibiotics? Kabla hazifai
antibiotics haufai you can't, it's a prescription medicine drug only. Hizo Mazitromax unauziwa. Haufai kuuziwa. Unafaa uende uone daktari ajue okay enyewe hapa ni bacterial infection, wacha nikuandikie dawa.
Especially size in the time of super gonorrhea hivi. We should actually enforce
but
that.
We can't blame everyone. Pia kuna madoki pia bado wanaandika hizo antibiotics mbaya. Even when you probably know this is a viral infection. But because hautaki mtu arudi, unamwandikia dawa, which is not good practice. So there's that. But the thing is, we don't have good regulation. Madawa zinaingia kutoka, most of them are produced in India. India is a hub, by the way, medical hub. If you want anything, by the way, ukitaka kufungua hosi unafaa tu kwenda India. Ni kama vile unaingia mall. nikitaka kutengeneza dawa yangu naenda India narudi nayo na nitaita Dr. Rain's cough syrup. Shatengenezewa kila kitu bla bla bla.
Alafu itakuwa affordable, si ndio?
Na itakuwa affordable. They use whatever, but you see that quality control hakuna. Hakuna ile zikipita everywhere. So those things have killed a lot of babies and kids in countries where the regulation isn't good. So you want to avoid cough syrups. Do the basics. If they are older 1 year unaweza pea asali. Let them hydrate well, let them take a lot of fruits. It usually clears. But kama cough may exceed 10 days or ni cough iko associated with high fevers, peleka kwa daktari amuone so that they can treat you.
Alafu nini vile kuna kukana lactose intolerance. What is this thing about? Like personally I can't stand honey. Like for me too, nini honey, it has to be hidden in something else. Like nikichukua like hata hivi move sikia kupuke. Like
it could just be your taste, or maybe you just have a very bad experience with honey.
Funny enough, I don't like, I just hate it. So hata mtu akinitengenezea dawa vile mtu uingia kwa restaurant tunapatiwa dawa, there's always honey and then all this other stuff. I'll put very little for me to be able to, but mtuka wife unaganaika the whole honey and she just
not wapenda sweet taste. Yeah, I know there's you see there's still honey still has that wild sort of element in it, and zingine pia zinakuanga na strong smell depending on which weights. Nimekuja kujua hizi vitu Kenya, there's different honeys, sijui acacia, sijui wapi, arabuko, baringo, kitui, unajua all each have their own things, own smell, own taste, but I don't think unless cause allergies which would very easy marash, kujiwasha, things like that.
Because I don't think it causes that. It's just that for me to get through, like I remember even kuna time I think my mother used to buy tupake nayo mkate. Mimi kwa nikikata napaka very thin layer, then I have to make sure you place in chapaka blue band, like you know, like
feature your taste
ni feature ni but I would see like my brother's
preference too. I guess yours is a preference. I wouldn't call it intolerance, otherwise it would have given you other symptoms.
Okay. Alafu pia kitu kingine mimi nilitolewa hiyo kilimi. I remember I used to get sick. I used to get sick or something. So what pisses me off is it messed my gut.
Nairobi.
But mother alinipelekaga tu kwa mtu tu fulani. The same thing.
Huwa zinafanywa na mtu sijui amekuwa usually a grandmother, mtu tu amelani.
So my mom, I remember alinipelekaga, ilikuwa kwanza masides was it Karen? There was someone who used to do that. Nikiwa mtu hicho pelekwa Karen na nikatolewa na key. Some shit that can even give you an infection, but of course I can't blame her for that. And then afterwards now the cure and kambwa ni kunywa nini? Crest. Ati Crest itasaidia.
Mazeni niliposio kitu Twitter. I was so shocked about how many people actually wametolewa and how the stories were usually kunywa Crest, kunywa Stony, na sijui Buffalo, certain things ama sijui kula nini unafaa kukula, sijui ni ugali ama something.
I'd have to ask my mom why mine was removed. I don't remember why, but I remember I used to get sick.
Wewe ni mkabila gani?
Mjaka.
That's okay. So it looks like they also do it, because the first time I encountered that was when I was working as a doctor, as a medical officer in Lamu. So Lamu, the people of Coast, a few Boranas, watu wa Hola, they really, na Waswahili wengine kidogo pia, even the Mijikenda, I started seeing a thing of kilimi. They kept asking me, una mtoto akatwe kilimi nini, some of them already comes imekatwa, things like that. So I used to think it's a cost problem.
No.
Initially. Then I started speaking with other people, then I realized pia wanaifanya in hata kuna Wakikuyu hufanya, and there's even in Nyanza they do it. So it's like it's a common thing.
Sijina inakuwa hiyo, sijina maliza tonsils ama something.
Kuna watu wanasema tonsils, kukohoa nini. It's etikilimi ni refu, inafanya mtu akohoe and stuff like that. Now when I did that, I started researching about it. I wanted to know, where did this thing come from? Is it really African tradition, is it African culture? Because it's usually done with, I think, a spoon. Usually they hold down with a spoon, alafu inakatwa na makasi. Made just a homemade sharpened makasi. And most of these, that makasi zinakatu zile surgical za hosi. So when I looked back at it, because it's also there in Sudan, it's there in Ethiopia, it's there in a lot of Eastern African countries, Sub-Saharan Africa. Others is diarrhea, others they say reduce pneumonia, coughing, nini. All of them have their own beliefs. But it all started when the colonialists came, after the era of objects made with metal. Sasa vitu, and also some stainless steel objects. So vitu kama makasi. So it actually came around iso 50s and 60s your time. And when the British left and we started we were exposed to a bit of Western medicine. That's when it started becoming a thing. But before that ilikuwa ni zile the African stuff is vile Masai, unaona vile meno nini that has always been there, of removing like teeth, sharpening teeth, or usually the incisions. That's what we used to do in African culture. But kukata kilimi, that's something that came from the 50s, 60s.
Of course, the worst thing about it is, unless I'm wrong, it affected my gag reflex.
It's possible. So it's very possible.
Meaning to hata niki brush meno, like I'd never brush my teeth around someone who doesn't know me, because they'll think I'm puking. Because niki brush, so you have to go deep huko. Mi kuna a certain nini kifika lazima ni
so because hiyo mswaki ingegusa hiyo kitu kilimi ambayo inaitwa uvula. If it just got close to it, it would give you that reflex to go back. But now because it's not there, you go further, then you'll irritate the back of your then you'll induce the gag reflex.
So mi nakuaga na hiyo I always
so as in hiyo ni kitu nimepata a lot of, and that's some of the activism I keep pushing. Hata mi kuna time nienda kwa make kwa napeleka gari alignment, alafu kuna mse unifanyia alignment. Kaniambia bro, mi sikujua na kuanga TikTok nini, nimekucheki TikTok nikapatia hiyo clip ya kilimi juu wife wangu naye alikuwa ni Mkamba. Kaniambia because they also do it. Kaniambia wife na mother in law wamekuwa kinipush, mtoto anakohoa ni nini akata. Nikaona hiyo clip yako mimi nikakataza. Because alisema hajawahi feel comfortable hiyo kitu, hiyo story asiju kukatwa kilimi na nini. But now after kuiwatch akawambia angalia huyu ni daktari. So he had that reason, because most of the times nawe haujui ni nini hizi tulifanywa, si tulikatwa, hata mimi nilikatwa.
So what's the best way kunini tonsillitis basi?
First of all, is it tonsillitis? Juu kila mtu anapenda so throat tu kidogo unasema ni tonsillitis. So the tonsils can get big. Kuna kitu inaitwa tonsillar hypertrophy, where the tonsils are just enlarged. And the tonsils, na kuna zingine zinaitwa adenoids, or the adenotonsils, the same glands. Sa zingine zinafura. And most of the times ina cause a lot of issues with breathing, and you can keep getting recurrent infections. Tonsils, easy nose, ears, nini. Ikifika hiyo point ambayo inakuanga too much ama ni kubwa sana, they are surgically removed, the tonsils. Tonsils na kilimi totally different things, and adenoids. So hizo huwa zinatolewa. But you need to find out, is it tonsils?
So, tonsils zikitolewa kilimi inabaki tu.
Kilimi unajua ni uvula. Ni inakuanga hapa juu. So because your throat si kitu ina hang hivi. Tonsils usually zinakuanga hapa. They are normal, and usually they are not too swollen. But some people have just
like
very large.
My niece will get too big, so they had to be removed.
So hizo zinatolewa. Zinatolewa, and sometimes they can actually grow back if they removed at a very young age. That's why it's always good when unaenda daktari ajue kama it's totally indicated, because usually ni ile mtoto anapata ma infections all the time, ma antibiotics too much, and then you just need to remove them.
Okay, because kuna hiyo, but hiyo story ya kilimi, because me always I don't enjoy, sometimes I don't enjoy brushing my teeth because of that bullshit. So
kuna wale wako na ile experience to them to this day, man. And when I post these things, sometimes I learn so much. Unajua watu dhani okay, sisi ndo tunapea hiyo information kama tunajua sana, but I also learn in the process when when I interact this way and I see the comments, because some people it's so traumatic. Guys are like, hey, this thing I will never ever. I'm still traumatized if I even think about it. Kwanza hiyo post iliwa trigger ikisema hey, kitu imeni trigger vibaya. Then there are those people who say ilifanywa tukakula crest na stony na mimi I swear tangu nikatwe sijawahi kohoa na mimi mtoto wangu nitamkata.
Because vile nimesema nitabidi niulize mother zangu zilitolewa kwani, because I remember there's something that used to disturb me. Alafu home I think I'm the only one nimetolewa. So home nilikuwa like the first of many, the only one nilishikaga measles, the only one nilishika chickenpox and hizo nini, because nakuka chickenpox all that. Is it still as common as
chickenpox? Hata juzi kumekuwa na outbreak. I mean last year kumekuwa na outbreak ya chickenpox nini. The only difference is squeeze at least kuna vaccine, but hata hiyo vaccine watu wengi hawapati. Like right now even me as a pediatrician mi naitafuta hiyo vaccine ya chickenpox sijaipata. Hiyo ndo shida yetu ya Africa. Nimekwambia sisi tuna we always the last. Na kama uko na do it's also a very expensive vaccine. Kenyans you're talking in the thousands, so it's more than 3k. Your vaccine ya chickenpox.
But sasa ina save watu away from that
whatever. Yeah, it reduces. Si eti hawezi catch chickenpox lakini wakiget haitawalemea vile. And then chickenpox ukikuwa mtoto, even if you've not been vaccinated, it's much fairer in children than it is in adults. The only problem is now the long term complications when you get these vitu kama chickenpox. Mimi niliget kama grown up kabla tu nirudi after kugraduate tu huko Russia. Kwani kuje nikapata chickenpox. Hiyo kitu ni mbaya. If you get it as an adult it is bad, inakulemea mbaya.
Na kwani hichagi scars, because if I'm not unless I have a very bad memory, na kunkanika you have all this and they have power nikas kon na nini ndani
inawacha scars.
Kwani sionagi jo kuzi nilikuwa nayo.
It's over time hata mimi it's how you whatever your skin, lakini we thank God for our black skin because mimi I got it as a grown up and my face ulikuwa unaona ishaisha lakini you can see the nataka kusema hizo dark spots. Nilikuwa karibu niongee kama daktari niseme hyperpigmented. Kulikuwa na hizo spots unaona hapa mazi hapa kulikuwa na kitu. Paka madha ile time nili get chickenpox alikuwa tu zile za guy. Sasa utapata bibi wewe kweli. As nilikuwa nimeharibika hivyo. But it cleared up. Say okay, you can still see a bit of like my face still has a bit of those to
but someone has to go looking for it.
Sasa nimeanza kuwa more knowledgeable about skin care, kuangalia skin care, kutumia sunscreen, hizo mavitu zote. So even me I'm trying maze.
Kwanza kitu moja vile umebonga juu skin care ni find this kuna kitu moja mfanyi wako waga interesting. Kuna best yangu anaitwa Faisal. Na mnafana na watia ni Msomali. Sijui kwa nini
mimi nakuanga na hiyo mimi kwanza ile time nilikuwa intern Kenyatta bana nilikuwa naongeleshwa na Wasomali mbaya. Juu tunakaa but it's I think it's the genes. I don't know, nataka kusema it's my Kikuyu side. Jumadha alisema tuko na a bit of Masai and Oman Arab lineage on my mother's side. But even on my dad's side naona kuna wengine pia wanakaa Somali, as in nywele yao hata cheki mtoi wangu nywele yake as in sile nywele tu ile kusokota ni ile sijui what we nywele makamasi ni doesn't makamasi, twist so niko na hiyo I have that tendency of looking a bit Somali.
Hata best yangu Faisal like kuzio Chiko Nini atacheka sana cuz muku cheki like kuzio sana ni Msomali kabisa but sasa is a dark skin Somali so even darker skin than you. But mkona hiyo same whatever like
mi ukamwalolo hiyo ni kitu nimepata a lot ile paka pia wao usema wewe bana uende ulize so I think nafaa kuingia hii ancestry.com ni find out really my lineage.
But kama umesema story ya Oman that means that Arab then with time
but you see black, again nakumbuka nimekuambia stories za quality of evidence hiyo ni kitu mamangu ameniambia, grandmother niambia but I can't prove it. At least nowadays kuna historia ancestry looking at your DNAs and all those hizo whatever.
I want you to tell one of your family members.
I think
So janga vile watu shikwa juu mada cause someone went.
Wacha tujue labda mimi ni mtoyo wa mtu hapa amededi na niko na shares mahali right, so wacha tu nifanye.
Oh, because kuna hiyo nini. Oh, mimi niko nafikiri hata mimi ni the first person kwambia. So nikitu niko na shida niulize umse story ama
atakach Felix.
Wewe
unasema hapa ni Iko Nini, mimi nimekama hapa kuna there's Iko Nini.
Iko Nini.
Uliza.
So pia like still sticking with the Iko Nini theme. Kuna hii time upsanitwa Amerix alitweet akisema do not get emotionally attached to your kids. You as a pediatrician, like how what do you feel about that statement? Because I feel like I'm emotionally attached to my kid because every
you
moment
have
I have
man. Huyu jamaa saa zingine anakuanga na ujinga sana. But the funny thing is sometimes you
and is he a doctor?
I have no idea. I don't even know who the guy is. I don't know if he claims
amejificha na nyuma Malcolm X.
Kama ni daktari atuambie majina wake. To check kwa Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentist Council. Wanakuanga na website inajua every licensed doctor. Majina tu unaingiza. So ukienda kwa daktari na uko sure, chukua tu the first name and the last name. Uingize hapo kwa website. Anyway. Daktari sio daktari. Kuna kitu saa zingine kuna vitu zingine fulani. That's why I'm saying misinformation. My worry is that this guy has really a cult following.
Big cult,
and
like close to
a lot of his stuff is based on misinformation, based on certain information that is there if you check the articles on it, but some of them are not even proven, or some have been proven as wrong. So hiyo ya watoto ilini frustrate, because for me, even one of the reasons I really come out on social media either with my son or hanging out with my son is that I'm trying to change the narrative of child raising. Unajua, where we're leaving it only to the mothers to raise your children. It's very important that you have that bond as a father with your child. Now, the thing that will influence the trajectories in your child's life is that the brain develops not only from genetics but to the way it responds to the environment. Kitu tunaita epigenetics. So we know that a child who doesn't grow up, the healthy way for a child to grow up is to be in a nurturing environment, an environment where they're stimulated socially. And when we talk about nurturing, we're talking about both parents, mother and father, paternal and maternal. Kuna hiyo bond. In fact, in our body tunakwanga na hormone for bonding. Wamama usually have it, especially it helps with breastfeeding, but it's also for bonding. It also happens to be the same hormone that gives us pleasure, as in mseaki come hiyo ndo the hormone that is released. It's a bonding hormone. It's there in humans, it's there in mammals. It's a normal thing for you to bond. So as soon as you stop being emotionally attached or you stop bonding, kuna watu walikuwa nasema eti no, there's a difference between sijui emotionally attached and sijui neglect and sijui nini au minions wake juu anatotea kila kitu. The thing is you can't distinguish the two. You have to have that bond through hugging, through conversation, through kissing, through showing affection. Showing that affection. And then the worst thing is what you're worried about is that eti ukikosana na mama eti mtu atatumika. So why are you getting into the marriage in the first place? Kwani wewe uliget mtoi ya nini? You know, but it's important that I highlight that it has an impact in the development of your child's brain. So as soon as you're not emotionally attached to this child, you're actually not building the foundations that will wire this child's brain correctly. So those they get adverse childhood experiences, as we call them now in research, and then they get into that bracket of higher suicide rates, depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and also them not being able to interact with relationship. Unapata mtu hawezi unashindwa mbona mimi siwezi kustay in one relationship. Probably because you've never experienced that bonding or nurturing environment when you grow up. So it's a very dangerous page. I really don't like it, because we are this generation of millennials tunajua vile wazazi wetu they were never close with us unajua hata mimi budangu hakuna hiyo sijui tuanze kusema eti sijui okay hugs of course hujapatana in a long time but unajua tu African dad
hiyo like African dads
unajua authority
delegated parenthood to our mothers. Most of us were raised by our mothers, and now the funny thing about it is most of us don't even know that they were raised by their mothers. Like ukibonga na mtu kama Eric's right now, he'd argue that he was not raised by his mom, and he'll be the same person telling you his dad was this strict discipline. That means it's your mother who raised you. It's your mother who taught you basically everything you need to know. But now Sisi, like I'd say I'm raising my daughter. Like my daughter knows me. Love hata vile tumesema like she's taught me so much even about the animal kingdom. Like one of the most interesting things that happened when she was born, you'll notice grip ya watoi. Kids have this primate grip like from our ancestors. Like wakishikilia kitu si ndio
tunapendanga hata sisi kama pediatricians mtoto akizaliwa hizo ndo kitu ya one of the inaitwa grasping grasping reflex
like ukimwekelea kwa chuma
ataishikilia
yes. Comfortable and they support their own weight. So that's one thing. Another thing nisha notice get with my daughter is like if I'm just chilling like this and I'm doing nothing, she just come and hug me. So hiyo nini vile umesema nini ya bonding. And this is not something that she's been taught, it's just innate. Like iko ndani yake ile, alafu we suppress that. But more than that is most of us were raised by our mothers. I think that like you are more close to your mom.
More definitely more close. Mzae ni mtu mambo kuongea mambo emotional stuff. He doesn't unajua he's
and it's not even about being emotional. It's just about unajua like as a kid you want to just chill with your dad and just hear stories about what and what, learn how to be a man.
Exactly
because I think it's something that we figure out. That's why now you need masculinity Saturday.
Yes,
because you've not figured out what being a man is.
Those are the same boys who were not given that same opportunity by their parents or missed that out from their fathers. Now the person who is going to teach you masculinity is also an injured person who is now teaching you toxic masculinity and oppressing women, the same women that probably raised you. Maybe they didn't do a good sio wamama wote ni wazuri by the way you never know what that person experienced
by their parents,
but like, I thought Sisi becoming more knowledgeable I thought we were going to see a less toxic masculine generation but now if people are going to social media to seek
how to be a man
because
it's interesting. I don't know, you as a doctor maybe you might have different like a different perspective on this but mwenjoy kuna time mwenjoy you say I came from the school alafu the word came itajua kwa nini na joke juu yake but I came from the school of Oyungapala used to have a show on Capital FM back in the days ilikuwa Oyunga na Nini Washera and I remember he was trying to teach men on how to fight premature ejaculation. And one of the tactics alikuwa naambia men is you can practice through masturbation. So now on Masculinity Saturday you have this guy who told men that masturbation is the worst thing since sugar, I guess, processed sugar. So as a doctor, is it as dangerous as he makes it?
No, masturbation is a very natural thing. You see, that's the thing. Kuna vitu yeye usema ambaye na agree nazo. Kama sugar, I agree with him 100%.
Yes.
Then kuna hii kitu nilikuwa nasikia okay I don't follow him now but there was this recent trends it was sugar sijui unfat unfat which is true obesity it causes a lot of things and we know so you want to cut down your waist then akaanza kusema watu ambaye ni kipara ni watu wame masturbate sana and sijui so hata ndo mimi watu wakaanza his minions came for me bana wakaanza kuingilia huyu jamaa kwanza ni kipara sijui nini
mimi niko na dread and I'm known to be a masturbation ambassador. I'm a guy jack off man especially
bana it's a natural thing. You know I don't see how it is bad or if studies have shown it causes cancer hakuna sugar is definitely worse than that
especially for like older males wale maybe let's say ni widower, a man who's lost his wife is a widower. If he does not want
I think so
if he does not want because see to fight prostate cancer there's a certain level of ejaculation that you have to do ama ejaculation
no, not
haisaidiagi?
really. No. So prostate cancer, one of the things, erectile dysfunction, issues with premature ejaculation. The three things, there's the three lifestyle changes you have to make. Eliminate smoking, eliminate alcohol, and then also obesity. You don't want to be obese. If you have all of those things, you're obese, and this is somebody ambaye akona BMI above 30, and then if you are a smoker and also unakunywa tei, most of the millennials fit in that bracket. That's why you have all these problems, and that's why you also have a low sperm count. Then kumbuka nimekwambia kuna environmental factors that bring in all the pesticides we're exposed to, all the different plastics, all this stuff we are eating, all of this is also contributing to our risk of developing cancer. It's got nothing to do with masturbation, ejaculation. It is the change in our lifestyle, the increase in lifestyle diseases, and the environmental exposure to carcinogens.
That's interesting, because I remember there's siwezi taja ni nani, but someone told me the way like their father was at risk of prostate cancer, and now the doctor was trying to whisper to them that your father needs to ejaculate like once every whatever. I know you can't go and tell your dad that, because you're still African. You can't go and tell your dad like, hey, Buddha
blue balls.
Enda uchape hii kitu nini. So
well, wacha sitaki kusema ninajua. That one wacha nikukonfirmia na rafiki yangu ambaye ni urologist.
Okay.
Tujue, not that I've come across it, because now my practice is more hatoi kabla najua. But hiyo ni kitu sijawahi sikia. But definitely vitu kama masturbation and nini has it reduce, or I can see how maybe the stasis or something, or which is the inactivity, blue balls tu ile hakuna movement. It's healthy pia unajua sperms kutoka ni nini, it's good. But
because history imeanza, there's been this wave of sperm retention. What do you think about it?
Yeah. So there's this fad that is not, and that's where he gets all of his stuff. There's this wellness walk
bullshit fad.
It goes all over. Sometimes it's food, sometimes it's this, but kuna hii kitu, and some people say it works for them, and that's fine. Where it's like fasting, you know, where you can be either on a fast ama useme umewacha nyama. Kuna hii unasema you semen retention, you know, ile it's like it creates discipline of some sort. I can say it's the same thing that you do when you're fasting or whatever. If it's Ramadan, you fast so that you can discipline and you can get closer to something. It gives you that self-awareness. So some people do that and it gives them that self-awareness. As for the health benefits related with it, there's no science that has proven that semen retention increases this or that.
Because me kitu moja nizaambia watu jacking off, because people always say that jacking off causes erectile dysfunction. And
fap.
Nikitaka kuambia mtu experiment, like bust a nut before you go and sleep, see how you'll wake up. You'll wake up hard as fuck. Like it even makes it feel alive, like I need food.
Bana, usidanganywe, science ni science. Unajua vitu zingine zinaletwanga hapa na
wasee kwa online.
Na vitabu zingine vitu ambaye haziko proven. Jichapeni tafadhali, ni healthy, inakuanga.
Alafu kitu ni bamba ni like in Africa it's such a taboo subject that if you sit with 15 Africans, let's say 19 are going to deny they've ever done it. If you sit with 20 white people, 20 Americans, I'd say all 20 are going to say they've done it. Like I think it's been demonized that much. Like this is it's a very natural thing to do. But
natural.
Wase wana believe like
it's just that culture breaking the ice. The effects of religion, unfortunately, all those things. But the science so far is clear. We don't have it unless they prove us otherwise. Please watch our your evidence. Let them do the vigorous testing, strongest evidence, and say we have proven beyond reasonable doubt. Until then, it's hearsay.
Because mechekigio story ya yake ya sugar and fat and do not masturbate. Anasema sijui masturbation fanya una lose focus, una lose
sugar and fat is just preaching the same thing everybody is preaching, every doctor is preaching is that na hiyo ndo nimesema hata na watu and I'm so mad is high sugar, high salt, high fat. That's all the ingredients for obesity. Definitely.
So salt pia?
High salt, high fat, high salt, obesity, and also predisposes you to high blood pressure. So those are all what you call non-communicable diseases. Vitu kama high blood pressure, cardiac disease or high cholesterol because of the fat. And then you have obesity, which is caused by the sugar issues. Kitu gani ingine, and all the other stuff that is associated with it. Nakuja inaleta strokes if you have uncontrolled blood pressure. So hapo na agree na yeye mambo ya and sugar and fat I agree with him. And anakuanga na kitu sijui 1 meal a day type of thing. So at the end of the day what you want is, if you want to lose weight, if you're fat, as he likes calling it, and fat, for you to lose weight you just have to be what we call in caloric deficit. Utasikia fitness trainers be in caloric deficit. What that means is when you take something in you gain calories. When you walk, when you move, when you lift up something, when you skip, when you run, you burn. So as long as what you're consuming is less than what you burn, then you're good. So as long as you're active, consuming less, you will lose weight. As simple as that. Is it as easy to control yourself? No, because there's a lot of imbalances in your hormones. Your body is already accustomed to the high sugar, so it can be grueling transition because you're already used to that high sugar all the time. So kabla umezoea kukua on less calories, it will take time, but you will start seeing the results. And the end result is you lose weight, you are healthier.
Because that one I think mtu anaweza notice na wasewa ocha ama wasewa mjengo. Wasewa mjengo utampata hata lunch time with like even 3 chapatis na beans na soda, but because they are going to use up all that energy.
Unapata mse haja.
But sisi we sit down in an office, sit down somewhere, so we don't burn it.
The diet kwanza has changed, unajua sio kama zamani unaamka unakula ngwashe ama ulikuwa unakula hata sembe ya wimbi. Breakfast ilikuwa ni sembe na something, it was like a meal. And then the whole day mtu anaenda kulima anachapa nini. There was no lunch those days. Hata kama ni lunch somebody will eat a fruit meal
usiku,
ama utakula ndizi or something. And then you come back usiku, same thing. So nowadays it's so easy. You don't walk to school, you don't walk to work. Unaingia tu whatever transport, kama ni private car, kama ni matatu, you're not moving, you're not doing those steps. Asubuhi umeka chai kijiko 3 za sukari, umekula mandazi, ama umekula chapo, ama umekula tu mkate. Bonge la super loaf, imejaa sukari, that's why it's so sweet. Na umeongeza jam juu. Kaingia job, huko job sijui 11:10 tena ni tea break. Unaongeza tena chai yako sukari. Lunch, dinner. Dinner time, I mean by the time unatoka job unarudi kwa jav nini unarudi home, unakula, unalala.
So mseka mimi, should I anti, like should I stop taking tea totally? Ama what would be advice? Because tea without sugar ni bullshit, and it's more
high sugar is what you need to eliminate. Una eliminate pole pole. So, kama wewe ni msiwa kuzoea coke, nimekwambia go to Coke Zero. You know, if you're drinking 3
cups of tea,
3 cups of tea and maybe 3 sugars or 4 sugars, go down to 2.
2 sugars.
Go down to 2 sugars until unaweza eka 1 ama hata 0. Or if you're going to have your tea with a mandazi which already has sugar, or bread with jam, mbona usiweke, don't put sugar in that tea. The bread jam has sugar, the chapo has sugar, the mandazi has sugar. Start there. So that at least hapo kwa sugar haujaongeza sukari. Or if it's 1 teaspoon hiyo ingine una get, you're trying to balance, you're just trying to reduce that. Sodas usually are the ones, high sugar beverages. Alafu pia processed foods, hizo ma fast processed foods.
Pizza can be classified as processed,
yeah, definitely. Very high, pizza is high calorie food.
So is it traditions that there's a 1 pizza day,
1 pizza day
per week, yani one
or is a cheat day na nini. So
is that advisable?
sasa unajua mtu kama mimi one of the reasons I exercise or have a healthy lifestyle is that so that ni maintain weight yangu to a point once in a while if I want to have a pizza I have a pizza but nimekula hiyo pizza sababu I've been maintaining I've been burning my calories so I can allow na najua nikikula hiyo pizza that I'm going to have to work extra hard or siwezi kula pizza nikai siku 2-3 kama sija kuwa active ama sija work out because I know sasa nitaenda kuongeza kilo and I know how hard it is to lose the weight so you get that discipline. It's a lifestyle change that you have to instill in yourself and that's why unasikia kuna cheat days most of the times you try to eat healthy kama sayata kama mi ufanya intermittent fasting so nilikuwa sijadish bado nikajua nisipokula kitu sahi by the time imefika hizo masaa hata taanza kwa cranky nikisema hii interview sasa imekaa sana unajua but it's finding that balance finding the balance. It's easy to lose weight you just have to find the balance. It's not easy losing weight through exercise you just have to push and do it the right way and right nutrition. Okay.
So imekuwa ni session dope sana, asante sana. Tume bonga I think cause nkwambia say ukikam tuongea juu ya health so I think we've talked about health. Maybe the last thing I'm going to ask you how frequent when should someone start going for medical checkups and how frequent should they be?
So once a year I would say especially if you're above 30 it's very very important lakini a woman who is sexually active kuna kitu inaitwa pap smear ambayo unataka kuhave at least every once 3 years but ukikuwa msee over 30s once a year too go for exam physical alafu pia uchapwe x-ray upimwe damu nini
How expensive is it?
Well it depends on where you go because I know unajua squeezy public hawezi tu kwenda hivyo you're coming for usually done in the private sector but it can range they usually term them zinakwanga men's health ama women's health annual checkup it can range anything from 6k all the way depending on where you go private hospital all the way to 20k.
Okay because I think me ni high time nimeanza kwenda hizo vitu because mi kuna hosi moja nishaisifu hapa South Sea they didn't pay me and they've not pay me right now but wanaitwa Reliance. I find them to be super honest so I think I need to go there and just ask them for it because I think that would also help hizi stories watu sikiaga sudden death where you discover something when it's too late. You'd rather discover it
karibu pia clinic yetu na kuanga based Mirazi also it's a multi-speciality clinic so
nye mnacharge ngapi
uko labda ni kuangalilia but I think it's quite fair they have a package for men for women hizo mapap smear na nini but I'd like to say that our rates are very very competitive in terms of whether it's the lab also consultation seeing the specialists so ni place run by consultants like myself young people tunajaribu tu kinge kwa game na pia watu ambao wanaelewa as in tunaelewa tu hizi mashida za health seeking behavior so unaweza try pia Reliance nitakupatia hizo nitakutumia
of course we promote like unajua like when promote this side I can promote the other side so it's something good so there's that. Alafu maybe another thing that I didn't ask you that I'm sure a lot of people are going to ask me is why does KMPDU always protect the bad doctors? Because they are
bad.
Yes, there are few bad doctors in Kenya.
The union or the council? Kuna kwanga na union, KMPDU ni union.
I think it's the union where like you try and fight a case and it's like because mopati ana story like I lost my big brother last year and I lost my brother for something that was super avoidable and ilikuwa like ilikuwa saline drip so the story was like first of all vile alifikishwa like the emergency section someone had to be bribed for the saline drip kuwekewa saline drip yenyewe alafu pia kukakuwa now another argument ya ambulance where now the saline drip ended before afikishwe hosi now the major hospital because accident yake ilikuwa Masaiza Ocha so alikuwa anapelekwa Kisumu alafu he died in between, and everyone who was there kept telling me that one doctor could have stopped it. This doctor ule alimweka kwa saline drip eventually, like he took his sweet time, like he was not in a rush. Unajua zile za kila mtu anamwona like
Buddha, hakuna kind of doctor. Unajua wacha ubaya madaktari ni wengi. Was it a clinical officer? Was it a medical officer?
Inaitwa Nyando Hospital. I don't know if it was
a public hospital.
It's a public hospital. Yeah. So now he
ni
was
level what?
I don't know.
Kama ni level 3 hapo most likely even level 4 most likely alikuwa ni clinic. Anyway, not to justify whichever medical it was. It's very hard for me now to judge. So it's not the unions. The doctors union mandate is not to actually trial or find out cases of misconduct, negligence. That one is actually done by now the medical council. That's where you go, you see if you can raise an issue if you feel that there was some acts of negligence. Now you go through that hospital. If they don't assist you, you can actually raise the matter through the medical council. Then they investigate, they get a tribunal, and they look at that case from start mpaka finish. Because kumbuka, there are some things that to you might seem like negligence, but on a medical standpoint may not exactly qualify itself as negligence. Am I saying we don't have bad doctors, or we don't? We actually do. And actually where the worst practice is practiced is actually in these mashinani, where there's the public health facilities are so deplorable. Most people seek from private hospitals. Now those small private hospitals usually are profit based, so they will, the same way most pharmacies are profit based. So they'll do bare minimum. Hata ule mtu ambaye ni daktari, sometimes it's hard to tell kama ni daktari. They won't be able to hire actual medical officers, or if they do, ni ile tu mtu ni juju and you're not paying a lot. So it's a lot of profit based. Sometimes the care, and usually most of the times the care is not as good as you'll get in a public, like a level 5, level 4, because uko sure ni teaching hospital na kuna medical officer.
Is it level umanishani? Because me I just see them like whatever level 5 and
so those are the tiers of our healthcare service systems.
Like this level 5 has more services than
okay. So like a level 5 the highest is a level 6. So a level 6 ni place kama Kenyatta, KU teaching and referral. These are what you call the tertiary facilities. Zina kwanga na kila, it should have every single thing, and that is the maximum. Those cases mostly you can't even refer outside. It should be able to be sorted out unless it's an extreme case. Level 1 ni basic. The level 1 is actually what we call community healthcare workers. These people usually are not paid. They're the ones who go to mashinani kupeana kits za malaria, hizo ndogo. Level 2 ni dispensaries. So dispensaries, they can also do mother to child, kupea vitu kama chanjo, hizo madawa nini. And then you have level 3 also, which does the same. So level 4, level 5 usually. Hizi ni hosi ziko na theaters, operating theaters, ziko na medical officers. Most of them are able to do research, and they're also teaching hospitals. So you should be able to get everything done. Now healthcare has a big problem. Systematic, kuna breakdown in referral systems. That's the same way mtoto na folk jembe situation ambaye alikuwa kwa level 5. That patient was not supposed to be referred to Kenyatta. Should a level 5, huwa kuna zile criteria. Level 5 should have X amount of specialists. It should have a CT scan. It should have an MRI. And one of the specialists in a level 5 is a neurosurgeon. Ambaye anafaa kuwa. Lakini most of the cases wanapatikana to level 6. And this is because the specialists were not enough. Specialists were also not enough medical officers. So unapata bado kuna hiyo challenge. Alafu since devolution, counties are in charge, governors are in charge of hiring. Them, they'd rather hire a few doctors or train and forget about the rest of the
so they can steal the money.
So hiyo kitu inafanywa sana na council. It's a very sensitive thing. And I do agree there's those elements where it feels like kama madaktari wanajiprotect, or we are trying to protect our own. But in most cases, if somebody, what I've encountered is that if there's medical negligence. It's accountable. There's the
ways.
Ni,
has any doctor ever lost their job? Because unajua like place ka states unaonagata Makarawa kidebishana like asa hizi Kenya si wote tumeshtuka juu ya Ahmed Rashid the cop, the one who was shot someone on camera. He's lost his job. He's a former cop. He's being tried for murder. We are all like so the question is, has any doctor ever lost their jobs? Because
I think there are people who have been suspended. I think what happens is your license is revoked. Whether somebody has actually gone to court and jail time nini vitu. Kuna wale few kama ule sijui, kuna ule gaini sijui alikuwa anafanya
but that one was a quack. Dr. Wairimo unaona Wairimo was ni quack and he got 29 years, but now I'm asking about someone who's gone to maybe University of Nairobi or Moi University, gotten a doctor's whatever a medicine degree and is now practicing, but it's just out here.
It's a good point. I don't think I know of one. It's actually a good point. And I think there needs to be more involvement. Like there should be somebody in that council that represents the layman. And I think there is. Kuna kwanga na mtu I think non-medical. Ambayo wanakwanga pia hapo kwa board. Because some of the cases, some of the situations are not as simple as negligence. Some things is you might think, but labda mtu alikuwa at this stage in cancer or umesema amedungwa hii sindano and then situation yake ikaharibika. There are usually different factors to look at. But I do definitely believe that there is this notion that we protect our own. Just the same way you would say that the police
protect their own.
Kina IPOA na nini sort of like protect their own. And given the statistics that there are not many, it's probably, but I can tell you the cases have increased. People are going to court. People are being sued. And now that is why for us to practice, you must have something called indemnity cover, a medical indemnity cover. Because that covers you in the case that, because at the end of the sisi ni binadamu, you can make an error in certain cases, and certain cases can lead to death. So in terms of that, where there is negligence and it's found, the tribunal can actually say, here you have whatever of negligence, and this patient can actually so there can be a settlement and all those things and legal so your medical indemnity is to cover that.
Because reason kuna nafanya nasema hivyo, like there are two cases that have happened for women giving birth. There was one that happened in Naivasha is a county nowadays. Amazi Naivasha is under Nakuru County. So Naivasha ilinifurahisha because Susan Kihika, the governor, ended up like suspending the whole medical board ya hosi, which was a good thing because of someone died giving birth. But here Nairobi unakumbuka ile, I think it's Pumwani, where a woman was bleeding and they kept begging like, just look at her. Actually, no one looked at her.
That thing raised a lot of issues. So the consensus was, in fact, Sakaja came and he came akaenda nini and that thing was followed up. So what happened was a kind of a tribunal or a task force was built. All those cases, they actually went through all of those cases and it was presented. And actually I remember because I'm in that Nairobi, I'm a county, I'm a doctor in Nairobi County, also member of union. So hiyo kitu ilipelekwa, and actually when they looked at it, they realized the factors. Unajua saa zingine sio daktari ambaye amefail, saa zingine ni system imekufail. Unaget, so you don't have those tools to actually save the lives, or inaweza kuwa ni situation where maze umekuwa ukisema for the last 2 months hatuna damu na mtu akizaa we need to transfuse immediately. We can't start always transferring for blood because it's immediate and it can save life. Anielewa, ama tuwezi kutuma watu kwenda kununua saline IV drips kwa pharmacy juu hamja stock. So when they actually looked at it, the governor actually came out and said, na nitatafutia kitu pia nikutumie hiyo report. Hata akakuja kusema, by the way, given the circumstances of how these people are working, I can actually see, because hakuenda iti nitaenda kufuta vile governor anafanya. We should investigate. When they actually sat down and found out, they saw the shortcomings from the counties, the poor shortage, the staff shortages, the issues with the no equipment, no drugs, all those things contribute.
So huyu nini because the husband was saying they kept talking to a certain doctor and that doctor kept ignoring them. If you act immediately, there's nothing that could have been done still.
So I think I'd have to look for that summary because I remember they unakumbuka hata walikuwa na hiyo hearing nini ilikuwa ni open, so hiyo kitu it was like that, and then everybody sat down and looked at it, and yes, there are flaws. There's a lot of flaws. There are things that they can do better, but pia wameelewa hatuwezi sasa kucrucify madaktari because mi naweza kuwa hapo kwa hosi kama sahi there's so many hospitals. Kuna ingine hapa ya National Police imejengwa to serve the National Police, but haina madaktari sahi, haina manases, iko tu hapo. So sahi Karawa akiletwa hapo na apate kama nurse ako tu hapo ndani 2 3, alafu we needs care and akose kuipata. Okay. Tutablame nas, tutablame unajua where do you start?
I know the system is super fucked yani. And I guess to get deeper tukienda kumalizia. So vile nimesema jo, asante sana. So naitwa Dr. Rain. Follow him on TikTok. Yofanya a lot of videos. YouTube umerelax kidogo but
coming back.
Channel YouTube inaitwa Ask Dr. Rain.
Ask Dr. Rain.
So make sure you check out Ask Dr. Rain. And asante sana jo. Mimi nimefurahia sana hii session. I think nimelearn a lot. Alafu leo tumekuwa serious, ndio wasije wasote tagagi serious, but tumekuwa serious but still in a light way. I don't think it went too serious. So kama kawaida, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, tell a friend to tell a friend. Asante sana kwa Nyerere. So huyo Nyerere ule nimekuwa nikitaja because he is also doing something in medicine. Nyerere jo iza jo, but yesa ameifanyia Canada and he was like a top student. So na kwa vile majuzi kulikuwa na this whole debate about Kisii students being number 1. Him was a Kisii and he was one of the top students hivyo.
I don't know why they were complaining because me most of the smart people I know ni wa Kisii.
Alafu sasa si usemaga Iko Nini pia tuna survive juu ya wa Kisii jo. Somehow this show ina nini wa Kisii wa US wanaipenda sana. So asanteni jo kwa kusupport show. So asante kwa Nyerere. Tukimalizia ni 150 tukisema Iko Nini.